I live and work in London, so I took a late train last night to come to this conference. So just like Tony, I'm fighting jet lag this morning. So I hope I will be okay. All right. So the topic is the multiple facets of beauty in China, and obviously I will cover more in details our experience of Chinese beauty, which is around something that is not well known and well understood, which is this cross-border business of beauty to China. A few words, first of all, on Feel Unique, because maybe you're not familiar with our company. The company was founded in 2004 by two entrepreneurs, and it was acquired in 2012 by a private equity fund called PALIX, and I was appointed 4 years ago as CEO of this company. We now are doing more than 100 million pounds of retail sales, and we are growing very fast. We have a growth of 35% last year. We distribute an incredible catalog of brands, 550 brands so far, and we sell to 2.5 million consumers. Our business is mostly online. We only have a few stores. If you live in Paris, I encourage you to go to Avenue Marceau, where we have a beautiful store. Half of our sales now is in UK, but our fastest growing business now is international. And what we offer to brands is the ability to plug into our cross-border e-commerce platform and distribute overnight their brand, their products to consumers worldwide. Okay, so China. Well, actually, we started in China only in October 2015. That's when we launched our Chinese site, which you can see on the slide. And what we do with a partner called Zoya is we have a localized site with simplified Chinese language, a selection of brands, because not every brand allows us to sell to China. At the moment, we have 350 brands. And with our partner Zoya, we do local merchandising, local marketing, and the customer service. In 2 years, 20% of our worldwide sales has now been achieved in China through what we call cross-border. So it's a huge, huge success. Every day we have 500 to 1,000 orders going from our distribution center north of London to Chinese consumers. So, what have we learned from China? Well, I can tell you we've learned a lot, and you will see my conclusion is that not only are we learning how to do Chinese business, but thanks to China, we're learning how to do better our worldwide business. So a few stats on the Chinese beauty market. It's huge. Yes, we know that, but when you look at it more in details, China is 12% of the worldwide beauty business. And if you look at the penetration of e-commerce in China, this is where the country where the penetration of online is the largest. It's 1 product in 5 that is already sold online. That means that on a worldwide basis, actually, China is the biggest beauty online market. It's about 30% of any beauty product sold online. It's, you see, much bigger than France or UK, and actually it is assumed that China online business for beauty is as big as all the countries that are shown on this chart. So really, China is leading the way in terms of selling beauty online. Why is it growing so fast? Well, first of all, you have this new generation that is born after 1990 that are spending much more on beauty. There was a study that was recently published by Kantar that shows that really the younger people are spending more. Is it because it's the only child? Is it because of this self-image consciousness? Is it because of social media? I don't know, but they are really spending a lot. And to echo what Tony was saying, the Chinese women are just following Korean women. You know, the Korean woman on average has 8 products of skincare in the morning to apply as a regimen. And yes, they spend about 40 minutes doing this every morning. And the Chinese are just copying the Korean woman. And the regimen is starting to become much more complex, much more sophisticated. And this is boosting, obviously, spending of cosmetics. Finally, what we see is a fascination from Chinese women for foreign and indie brands, especially in skincare and makeup. And I will show you how we are capitalizing on this. China is the most open beauty market in the world. There is this company called L2, which you might be familiar with, which publishes a lot of studies on digital and digital beauty. And they showed what are the 10 top digital beauty brands in China. And you see that it's a combination of brands from every country. You have some French brands, American brands, Japanese, even a Chinese brand, and Korean brands, of course. And all those brands, which are quoted here, well, they excel in their visibility on the main platforms, but they also excel in their WeChat functionality. And they are very, very good at celebrity. There was a lot of talks this morning about celebrity, about video, live streaming. All of this is so important to be best of the class digital beauty brand. But I don't want to let you think that online is the only way to succeed with beauty in China. So I found an example of a brand that is also investing in the physical space. The Chinese consumer also love experience. They want, and I think it was mentioned by Tony, they want more than a good product now. They want interaction with the brand. They want a feeling of community. They want a very distinctive lifestyle. And there is this nice experience by Innisfree. Innisfree is a brand from Amore Pacific, a Korean group. And in Chengdu, they have opened this cafe where you have the ability to really enjoy very locally inspired fruity teas, matcha, lattes, and patisserie. So the real tip here is that you need to create a community, be it online or be it in the physical world. The Chinese are just connected all the time. You know, if you think that here in France people are always on their screen, it has nothing to do with the way it is in China. It's 10 times bigger. So WeChat, Weibo, all those technologies of live streaming, it's daily use for all the Chinese. So the key is not so much which platform you use, but it's the quality of your content and how you can engage the consumers. That's what you have to do, is to connect with the consumer with very rich content. Now, one word of caution, because we have tested this at Feel Unique, is that some of these platforms have some fake traffic, so you really need to make sure that when you look at KPIs, you are not paying for something that is not real. The Chinese beauty consumer is super informed, more than anyone that I know. In fact, what is really cool in China is to have access to a product that is not available in China. So the Chinese consumers are spending hours trying to get information about brands that are not sold in China. And this is where the cross-border model becomes so relevant. And you have some platforms that have specialized in speaking about many products that are not even available in China, such as Little Red Book. So one way to start reaching a Chinese audience is by targeting the Chinese community that lives outside of China, and that will spread the rumor, spread the word about the brand to their friends and family in China. So the message here is that local e-commerce in China for beauty is only part of the market. Yes, Chinese consumers are spending money online with Watsons, which is a drugstore chain in China. Yes, they are on Tmall. Yes, they are on Taobao or JD.com. But they are also buying a lot in cross-border. Why cross-border? Because of this fascination for a product that is not available in China. Also because some consumers don't trust the local platforms. There is a lot of counterfeit in China, and if you think of it, applying a product on your skin, on your hair, if it's fake, can be quite dangerous. So some consumers prefer to buy on an accidental site. And finally, there is also a price gap between foreign sites and local sites, and consumers shopping, Chinese consumers are very price conscious, so they like to shop where it's cheaper. What about this cross-border? How does it work? Because as you know, if a cosmetic company wants to sell in China, the product needs to be approved by Chinese authorities. And it needs to go through animal testing. A lot of brands that call themselves cruelty-free don't want to be going through animal testing. So a lot of brands refuse to be distributed in China locally, domestically. And that's where we come in, because we offer those brands a way to sell to the Chinese consumers in cross-border. And this is perfectly accepted by the Chinese authorities. So you have the benefit of selling brands that are not yet in China. You also have import taxes that are usually not levied when you send a parcel from Europe to China. So, how to launch a beauty brand in China? This is our recommendation. First, decide if you are animal testing or not animal testing. If many new brands don't want to be animal testing because of ethical reasons, and also because of this time to market that everyone is talking about. Registering locally takes 6 to 18 months, so it's not really compatible with the modern way of selling cosmetics. So most brands now prefer to be in this cross-border model. To succeed in cross-border, you need to start raising your brand awareness, even from abroad. So you need to reach the Chinese audience, either through KOLs, through the Chinese foreign communities, and you need to start adapting your content in Chinese, because it's not because you have a unique product that is going to work. Then you go to cross-border. That's a great way to test your brand. Then you can start selling on local platforms, and then you scale the brand. So this is what we have done with a famous English brand called Charlotte Tilbury. We produce a lot of exquisite content in Chinese for Charlotte Tilbury. I expect we'll do something like £1 million with Charlotte Tilbury in cross-border in China alone. To finish, a few slides on our recommendations. 3 common mistakes. One, we call it the WeChat delusion. You think you open a WeChat account and you post once a week. Well, that doesn't work, because WeChat is much more demanding. You need to have a proper WeChat strategy with a lot of features which are presented here. Second mistake is to sign an exclusive deal in China for domestic distribution. You get stuck. You really need to keep your distribution options open. And also you need to keep control of your inventory, because a lot of people, if they have access to your products, they will sell it anywhere, in any place, and not in the right way. Third advice, or third mistake, sorry, that we see a lot is what I call wrong localization. You use a translation agency, and then you have just an annual Chinese event. If you really want to go to China, you need a proper Chinese strategy. You need a proper, full Chinese marketing calendar. You need to engage with the consumers on all the platforms. And also you need to pivot your strategy all the time, because the landscape of Chinese online is changing so fast that you really need to be very nimble and very adaptable to what's happening. And I can tell you that I feel unique. Our strategy is changing rapidly regarding China. A few recommendations, cross-border. I'm not saying this because of Feel Unique, but I really think it's a great way to bring a brand to China. Go there. There is no other way to understand China than to visit China, because it's a whole new culture, it's an advanced culture, and if you're not there, if you stay just on your seat here in Europe, it's not going to happen. And finally, as I said before, target the Chinese outside of China as a way to reach and to bring awareness to your brand. So, I was told that any presentation about China must finish with a Chinese proverb. So, I found one, which is, if you do not experience anything, it's impossible to gain knowledge. I just want to say that you want to go to China not only for the Chinese business, but to learn better how you want to do your worldwide business. Okay? So China is helping us better do our UK business nowadays.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Merci. This is the first speaker who finished on time, and we really have time for some questions. Do we have any in the audience here? I think we have one right here. Yes?
So thank you, great presentation. So my question is about, you've been working with KOL, and what is your feedback, and how have you been working with them?
Yes, we have been working with KOL. One thing we did is we brought 3 KOL from China to attend our pop-up store for Christmas in London, because we did a pop-up store in November. And we also showed them our distribution center, which is quite impressive, because if you imagine 35,000 SKUs lined up in a big distribution center, they were very impressed. They produced great content, but we were not very sure about the quality of the traffic and the audience. So I think we learned also a lesson on how you manage KOL in China.
Okay, do we have, there's another one up there. We can get you a mic.
Hi, I was wondering if you had some visibility in terms of how you get sales in terms of channels. Is it mostly WeChat, Weibo, and what is the mix overall of what drives the actual transactions?
Well, it's changing very fast, because, as I said, our strategy is moving quickly, but WeChat is our main channel. When we launched in China, a lot of people were skeptical that we could do without the big platforms, because we didn't go to Tmall, we didn't go to JD.com. We went by ourselves, and WeChat was really our biggest driver. But now we are opening up to platforms. We have some presence on Little Red Book. We are just going to open some well-known platforms. And I expect to make some announcements in the coming weeks. So just be very pragmatic and go where the business is. Obviously, now that our awareness in China is much better, we are approached by a lot of partners to build our traffic.
Okay, we have time for one more. If we have another one, we do. You're all awake now. The coffee kicked in.
Yeah, hi. What about profit? Is it easy to make profit in China?
Well, our model is a good one, because our partner only takes a commission on sales, so we know exactly how to make money, and we do make money in China. But as I said, it's a changing landscape, so you need to be always on your guard to make sure that the model remains valid. But yes, we make money.
Okay, anyone else? We can do one more. One last question. There, great.
How would you consider or compare your experience with what you've lived at Clarins or Mugler, for instance?
Oh, I've changed the world. I mean, digital, you know, goes so fast compared to, and retail. Retail also is a much faster moving business. When you are a very established brand, you know, I was looking after a brand called Thierry Mugler. You can take a few years to create a fragrance, and that's probably good, because you want to take your time to do a very beautiful product. When you are in digital retail, it's just so fast-paced, but it's so exciting too.